Anthony Edwards is taking over the NBA with a relentless drive that's leaving veterans in the dust, absolutely embarrassing some of his opponents. But his approach to the game has people asking, is he insanely driven or just insanely dumb? There's some little-known psychology secrets behind his uncompromising approach that'll give us the answer. Edwards is 20 years old, the electrifying guard out of Georgia. He was the #1 pick in the 2020 NBA draft. He's taken the league by storm with his jaw-dropping athleticism and fierce competitiveness. But it's not just his on-court skills that are turning heads. In fact, there's more discussion about his uncompromising approach to the game. In a league where load management has become the buzzword of choice, Anthony is a throwback to a bygone era. He insists on playing every single game, even when his coaches and trainers advise him to rest. His reason? A sense of duty to the fans. He was quoted as saying, "I just feel like there's that one fan that might never see me play again, and I always want to give him my best, because they might not see me ever again." Now that's a noble sentiment, you gotta love it, but it's one that has some worried about the long-term sustainability of the guy they call Ant-Man's approach. Hall of Famer Grant Hill, as an example, who battled injuries throughout his career, had a warning for it. You have to be smart. You can't just go all out all the time. That's how you get hurt. But Ant-Man seems unfazed by those concerns. His love for the game and his competitive fire drive him to push his body to the limit, night in and night out. As his college coach, Tom Crean, put it, Anthony is relentless. He never takes a day off, never takes a play off. He's always working, always hungry. You can't teach that kind of competitive drive. So what is it that fuels Anthony Edwards' uncompromising approach? Is it something that he just happened to be gifted with, or did it develop over time based on what he went through and what he chose to do and not do? Or is it just a reckless disregard for his own limits? The answer lies in the fascinating psychology behind purpose and the relentless pursuit of greatness. Because in the cutthroat world of professional sports, just like other industries, like finance, medicine, tech, and entertainment, where you live and die by a performance every day, what separates the legends from the merely good or great? Is it raw talent? Is it an unwavering sense of purpose or a borderline obsessive competitive spirit? And at what point does their admirable pursuit of excellence cross the line into self-destructive territory? Anthony Edwards' leave it all on the floor mentality forces us to grapple with these questions. By examining the mental forces that drive him, purpose, motivation, and competitiveness, we can gain insights into the mindset of a champion. But we also have to confront the potential dangers of an uncompromising approach in a sport that demands longevity. Let's start with purpose, which in the nerdy literature is defined as a stable and generalized intention to accomplish something meaningful to the self and consequential to the world. Well, blah, 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 blah. Really, what that means is it's like a compass that guides us through the wilderness of life. There was a renowned psychologist named William Damon. He's basically the Copernicus of purpose exploration. He found in his trailblazing research that individuals with a strong sense of purpose exhibited greater determination, healthier coping mechanisms, and a more positive outlook on life. Almost like a triple espresso shot of resilience. And Ant epitomizes this sense of purpose. His dedication to giving his all for the fans, even at the risk of his own health, speaks to a deep-seated conviction that transcends personal glory. He says, "I'm doing this for the one fan that might never see me play again. I want to give them everything I got, every single night. That's my purpose out there." And this unwavering sense of duty, it wasn't something that he was probably born with, but it's definitely not something he's landed on recently. Raised by a single mother who worked tirelessly to provide for her family, Anthony learned the value of hard work and dedication from an early age. He says, "My mom, she's my rock. She taught me to never give up, to always keep pushing, no matter how hard it gets. That's why I play the way I do, for her and for everyone else who believes in me." But research alone is not enough to reach the pinnacle of athletic achievement. You need intrinsic motivation in there, the inherent satisfaction from doing something, just from doing it. It's another crucial factor in elite performance. In a study of a bunch of studies, a meta-analysis by Carasoli and co. examined the relationship between intrinsic motivation and performance across 40 years of research, taking a number of studies, smashing them all together, and the results were unequivocal. Intrinsic motivation was a robust predictor of both performance and psychological well-being, particularly in tasks that required creativity, cognitive flexibility, and conceptual understanding. And it's funny because Anthony Edwards' love for the game is on full display. He's like a kid in a candy store. He can't get enough. He even says himself, I don't play basketball for the money. I don't play for the fame. I play because I genuinely love this shit. I love the grind. I love the process. I love competing. That's what drives me. And it's this pure passion for the sport that allows Anthony to embrace the challenges and the setbacks that come with the territory, but also to overcome the risks of being burned out or being fed up with his job. When he was faced with criticism for his inconsistent shooting during his rookie season, he didn't get discouraged. Instead, he doubled down on his training, spending countless hours in the gym honing his craft. He'd say at the time, I know I have a lot to learn, but I also know I have the drive to keep getting better. I'm not afraid of the work, I embrace it. And the final piece of the psychological puzzle of what makes Anthony Edwards so different is competitiveness. It's the secret sauce that separates the good from the great. Now, everyone's competitive, yes, but there's certain types of competitiveness. And in a seminal study by Gill and Dieter, the Sherlock and Watson of sports psychology, they developed a thing called the Sport Orientation Questionnaire. Anyway, long story short, it measures individual differences in specific competitive motivation. But it actually shows the particular types of competitors. Someone who competes to win, someone who doesn't want to lose, someone who just likes competing. And the results showed that competitiveness was absolutely positively associated with sport-specific success, like a magnet attracted to metal. However, that same competitive drive that fuels excellence can also lead to burnout and overuse injuries when left unchecked. A study by Lemire et al. Investigated the relationships between motivation, overtraining, and burnout in elite athletes particularly. And the findings indicated athletes who specifically had the pattern of high perceived stress, low recovery, and high competitiveness were at a much higher risk for burnout, which is exactly what leads some so-called experts, I'm waving my fingers there, to worry that this relentless competitiveness could lead him down a path of diminishing returns if not tempered with wisdom. One example, sports psychologist Dr. Michael Gervais warned competitiveness is a powerful fuel, but it's not an endless resource. Athletes need to learn how to channel it in a sustainable way or else they risk burning out. The thing is though, when you dig deep enough into Ant in particular, you'll see that risk isn't super high with him. Sure, his competitive fire is like a dragon's breath. It's powerful but dangerous if it's not controlled. He even says it himself, I can't stand losing. It eats at me. It drives me crazy. That's why I work so hard, because I never want to feel that way again. But he's also not stupid about his recovery. He's a super pro, as his coaches say. And even more important, he barely perceives stress when he's doing what he loves. The way he embraces what others could perceive as a threat, his recent kill everything approach to his first playoff run and knocking off his idol Kevin Durant already, means he's easily buffered from that concern. So in actual fact, Anthony Edwards' uncompromising approach to the game is a case study, a golden case study in the psychology of greatness. His sense of purpose, anchored in a deep commitment to his fans and family, gives him a reason to push beyond his limits regularly, consistently, and way more than everyone else. His intrinsic love for the game allows him to embrace the grind and the ups and downs and still maintain a sense of joy and fulfillment, and his competitive fire propels him to strive for excellence, whether he's up, down, or facing adversity. Now, it's true that for some people, the same psychological forces that drive Anthony to greatness also carry inherent risks. By never taking his foot off the gas, he runs the risk of physical and mental burnout. His unwavering belief in the power of hard work could lead him to neglect the equally important need for rest and recovery, and his insatiable competitiveness could drive him to make reckless decisions in the heat of the moment. But the key, as with all things in life, is balance. And as with all young performers, time will tell. Anthony must learn, absolutely must learn, to harness his purpose, passion, and competitiveness in a way that will survive over the long haul if he wants to make a Hall of Fame, just like his critic Grant Hill. He's got to find a way to push himself to the limit, but not over the edge. Learn to listen to his body and his mind, even when the heart is telling him to do something extreme. What I will say, though, is if his performances in this year's playoffs alone are anything to go by, he is well on his way to silencing all the critics, the doubters, the haters, right up to a spot in the Hall of Fame. In the end, Anthony Edwards' uncompromising approach is both a gift and a challenge. It's what makes him special, what sets him apart from the pack. His relentless drive, it's almost like a high-speed car chase. It's thrilling to watch, but you can't help but wonder if he's going to crash and burn. Will he find the balance between purpose, passion, sustainability, or will he become the NBA's version of Icarus, who flew too close to the sun on wings made of Red Bull and bravado? Like I said before, only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. Love him or hate him, you can't look away from the spectacle that is Anthony Edwards right now. He is a walking, trash-talking embodiment of the psychology of greatness in all its messy, complicated, and extremely fascinating glory. So buckle up, folks, because the Anthony Edwards Show is just getting started, and hopefully it's a long one. Whether you're along for the ride or just watching for the sidelines, it's going to be one hell of a journey. Me personally, I'm thinking his purpose, his passion, and competitiveness could just be the secret sauce, the fuel that drives the engine of greatness, but balanced out with a little bit of wisdom and self-awareness, both from him and those around him. Let's hope that he finds that balance. That's all for Ant-Man right now, but if you want to keep exploring the psychology of some of the world's best performers, your favorite personalities from a number of different arenas, be sure to smash that like button and click subscribe. We've got plenty more deep dives and hot takes coming your way on the most happening people, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching, and remember, greatness is a journey, not a destination. Peace.